So my name's Ben Keane, I'm an independent analyst and advisor, and I'm here with Espen from Norigin Media. So Espen, this has been your very first Northern Waves conference. How do you think it's gone?
I think it's gone really well. I must say I'm like revealed, I guess is a good word to use. As you said, it's the first time we've been doing it, and of course we have been attending a lot of conferences before as exhibitors and delegates and so on, but we never done it ourselves, and we have truly, done it ourselves, and it was a bit more work than we thought it was, but I think in the end it went really smooth, and I think I have nothing negative to say about it at all at this point.
So I've always felt that the Nordics is what I call a hotbed of TV innovation. Turns out it's hotter in more ways than one at the moment.
Yeah.
But do you think my view is justified?
I think so. I think very much so. So we clearly see that. Us living here, that we have. The connectivity we have, for instance, is I think it's like over 50% fiber to every house in Norway, and overall the bandwidth is like no one have issues of streaming 4K and all that. So like a lot of the technical kind of hindrance that you see elsewhere, we don't have it here, and also there's in overall, the economics is good, and people are buying new devices and replacing their TVs and all that. So it's in general, from the consumer market, it's quite advanced, and willingness to pay. So I think there's a reason like why Netflix first launched in the Nordics outside of US. It's generally because of this, and because of this, I think we see that the local operators and broadcasters are innovative. They're investing in this properly, because the shift is kind of happening earlier here, I feel. That people are actually going from traditional linear to OTT, yeah, which is the future and where kind of the innovation happening. Yeah. Which means that they invest in this, and then local companies come out of that, and we have local vendors like ourselves that take part of that innovation.
One of the things that has seemed to emerge today from the discussions is actually also a potential for more collaboration between the various players, both within Nordic countries and perhaps across the Nordics more broadly. Is that something you see potential for?
I do. Of course, that is not an easy thing, but I think we've been through this kind of phase where it's been a lot of uncertainties of kind of what technology and what will the future hold and so on. But we see now that there's some standardization kind of emerging from that, and some things are getting in place. And I think then the industry see that, okay, there's no point of competing on these things anymore. So let's get together and say, okay, these things we can do together, and we don't have to compete because it doesn't make business sense. So I think that is happening now, and then they will actually get together and do it. But
and what would be the lead items for collaboration? What would be top of your list?
I think like some of the things that like all the broadcasters and operators are, all of them are doing, and they're doing it almost the same. Like for instance, preparation of content. They get the same content in. All the distributors have the same content more or less. They're getting it in. They need to prepare that for delivery to all different screens, and it's a lot of waste of resources that all of them are doing it. Like they may be doing it with 1 megabit per second difference, or less than that, or like small tweaks in the encoding, or things like that. It doesn't make sense because it's commodity now. Yeah. You encode it, and you distribute it. So I think
big efficiency gains on the encoding process, and
that's
actually we heard our keynote speaker this afternoon. One of the 3 big buckets of strategic focus Sylvia Serres mentioned was efficiency. So that seems to drive to that point, right? So to make efficiency gains across the industry, in this case on encoding.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's many other things as well that you could put into that, and I truly hope that people kind of see this. And I think, you know, that the Silvia Serres, for example, a lot of her points was quite good, and I think one of the key points is that you need to think outside your silo, right? Because that's, I guess, like in any industry, is like you're very much thinking inside your own silo and so on. And I think that's another thing for collaboration, that you actually, you know, you look outside what is happening outside of the world, and then you can piggyback on some of the inventions happening there and so on.
So maybe for future Northern Waves events, we might bring some people in from outside the silos.
I think so, because I think that makes sense, because you, at the end of the day, I mean, technology is quite generic, and you know, if some of these technologies really coming now with machine learning and artificial intelligence and so on, it shouldn't only happen, you know, inside our silo, right? So yeah, I think so.
Well, Espen, congratulations again on a magnificent first year. May it be the first of very many. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Ben.